Another white woman who called for the lynching of black men was the feminist Rebecca Latimer Felton from Georgia. In 1897, she warned that black men were roaming America with a license to degrade and debauch. During one speech in Georgia, Felton said, "If it needs lynching to protect white women's dearest possession from the ravening human beast, then I say lynch 1,000 times a week if necessary."
Oh my God, somebody please say it ain't so. I just came across the most heartbreakingest video I ever seen in my life. I don't know how to feel. This man single-handedly destroyed interracial dating, not only in America, but probably all across the world. This video is going viral. People's listening to what he have to say. The divorce rate where interracial couples are on the rise. I don't know what's his agenda, but he's hitting y'all with hard facts.
A few years ago, a creator named Sierra Thompson caused an uproar when she said that one of the most dangerous groups in the US is white women. What she was referring to is the long history of white women's lies leading to horrifying acts of violence against black Americans. For example, in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, a 19-year-old black teenager named Dick Rowland accidentally bumped into a white woman named Sarah Page in an elevator. Page screamed and ran away, and a lie spread that Rowland had assaulted her. This gave a white mob the excuse to go on a murder spree that left hundreds of black people dead in what came to be known as the Tulsa Massacre. 2 years after this massacre, something similar happened in Rosewood, Florida. When a white woman named Fannie Taylor falsely accused a black man of assaulting her, a white mob went on a rampage through the black community, murdering dozens and throwing the bodies into mass graves. In 1955 in Mississippi, a white woman named Carolyn Bryant lied and told her husband that a black teenager named Emmett Till had tried to assault her. That night, Bryant's husband went out and kidnapped Emmett Till, tortured, and murdered him. Neither Carolyn Bryant nor her husband ever faced any consequences for their actions. This dark history is the reason why Sierra Thompson argued that white women can be so dangerous. And she was also responding to several cases across the country in the past few years where white women have called the police on black people, putting their lives in danger. For example, in 2020, a white woman called the police on a black man birdwatching in Central Park after he asked her to put her dog on a leash. Because police encounters with black Americans so often turn deadly, many people argued that by simply making that phone call, this woman was setting herself up to be an accomplice to murder. If we look back at history, what we find is that sometimes white women have played a terrifying role in the violence against black people. And there were even some women who made a career out of calling for this kind of violence, both in the United States and around the world. In the 1920s, Ray Beveridge, a former actress turned right-wing activist, went on a speaking tour across Germany where she protested the presence of black troops in that country. As part of the Versailles Treaty that ended World War I, the Rhineland in Germany became a demilitarized zone. And when the French army occupied that territory, they enlisted black soldiers from Senegal. People like Beveridge began a racist campaign calling for these black soldiers to be removed from Germany to protect white women. Her speeches were titled "The Black Horror" and "The Black Shame." One way that she drummed up racist fears was by constantly warning about the threat of mixed-race children to the purity of the German race. During her tour of 25 German cities, Beveridge warned about the brutal cravings of these savage blacks for white women. In one speech, she said that the Negro has much less capacity to think, but much stronger sensual feelings than the white. She said that black beast with a wild erotic drive would assault white women, white girls, and white boys. She spread blatant lies about how the victims of this unregulated passion of black men would often be found close to death, their bodies torn through the brutal attacks, some of them with wounds from bites, which showed obviously how the wild black beast had fallen upon its victim. Every single time Beveridge gave a speech, she would include dozens of outright lies, such as that 60% of the children of mixed race were born with syphilis, or that in German brothels, every girl has to satisfy 10 black men every 3 hours. She even took propaganda photos like this one, where she held a well-nourished black child and a malnourished white child, trying to claim that black children were treated better than white children in Germany. During her speeches, Beveridge constantly used the N-word when describing black people, and she argued that the use by France of black troops on the Rhine was detrimental to the culture of the world. She instructed her listeners in Germany to solve this problem the same way that American men did in the South, by lynching. She told them, "Your weapons have been taken away from you, but there is always a rope and a tree. Take up the natural weapons used by our men of the South. Lynch. Hang every black who assaults the white race." Often crowds of 50,000 Germans would listen to these speeches, which Beveridge was paid extremely well for. Another white woman who called for the lynching of black men was the feminist Rebecca Latimer Felton from Georgia. In 1897, she warned that black men were roaming America with a license to degrade and debauch. During one speech in Georgia, Felton said, "If it needs lynching to protect white women's dearest possession from the ravening human beast, then I say lynch, 1,000 times a week if necessary." Now, it's important to note that these accusations of an epidemic of black men assaulting white women were completely false. In the 1890s, the anti-lynching activist Ida B. Wells conducted in-depth investigations into these charges. She found that in a majority of lynchings, the accusations of black men assaulting white women were false, and were only invented later as an excuse to justify this racist violence. The fact that white women played a key role in racism and white supremacy should come as no surprise. From the moment that enslaved Africans arrived in the Americas, white women were critical to the maintenance of slavery and white supremacy. In the book They Were Her Property, Stephanie E. Jones Rogers shows that white women employed management techniques that were as effective and brutal as those used by slave-owning men. White women actively participated in the slave market, profited from it, and used it for economic and social empowerment. The role of women in white supremacy hasn't gone away either. Ever since Trump won in 2016, many people have argued that his victory was rooted in white supremacy and racism. And white women played a key role in electing Trump in 2016 and 2024. Also, in the past few years, we've seen a disturbing rise in white women openly embracing anti-black racism and being proud of their potential to cause harm to black Americans. In 2018, Mississippi Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith told an audience that if she was invited to a public hanging, she'd be in the front row. Many people pointed out how disgusting this statement was, considering that Mississippi had the highest number of lynchings of black Americans in the country. For decades, 2 to 3 black people were publicly hanged or burned alive in Mississippi every week. In 2019, a white woman named Nancy Goodman was caught on camera calling a black woman a stupid N-word in a restaurant. When she was later asked about the incident, she said she would happily use that word again. More recently, a white woman named Shiloh Hendricks called a black child the N-word at a park in Minnesota. When she set up an online fundraiser, she raised over $600,000 from people who left comments like, "White unity will unite," "Whites stand strong," and "White rise." After this story spread around the world, a white woman named Lily Gaddis went on the Piers Morgan show, and she not only defended Shiloh Hendricks using this racial slur against a child, but she admitted that she frequently uses the N-word herself. When white women admit to using the N-word and take pride in their ability to weaponize their whiteness and put black lives in danger, they are following in a dark legacy in this country that goes back to the days of slavery and lynching. That's why it's been so disheartening to see some white women come on this app and talk about how they have black fatigue. Whenever any white person uses this phrase, we all know what they're really saying. Black fatigue is just another way of saying the N-word. And we've seen this kind of rebranding before. We saw how in the early 2000s, white people started using the word thug instead of the N-word. We've seen how racists used the term alt-right when they were really describing the same white supremacy this country has always dealt with. What's so troubling about this conversation around black fatigue is that it fits into a trend of white women gaining influence by using racist dog whistles. When people like Ray Beveridge spread her hatred in the 1920s, she reached thousands of people. Thanks to social media, the Ray Beveridges of today can spread their hate to millions. Now, I want to make it clear that by covering this information, I'm in no way saying that we should condemn all white women, or use this history to incite violence or hatred against any women. We can't change the past, but we can change how we act in the present and how we work together to build a better future. We have to stand up and condemn racism whenever we see it, no matter who it comes from. Because the only real fatigue comes from living in a country that is still poisoned by racism and division. The only way to move forward is united as one.
Is it okay to say let the past be the past? A lot of this stuff happened in the past, but I know it's a lot of stuff that's happening today that's very similar. But it's hard to call it out because we don't know what's real or what's fake. AI could possibly put an end to all the racism. Maybe? What y'all think? Hopefully. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. But what this man did is lay it all out so you can make up your own mind. It don't matter how he feel about it. It don't matter how I feel about it. It all matters about how you feel about it. That's the only thing that matters, people. So let me know in the comment section how you feel about this. I know it don't make you feel good or nothing, but can you see the silver lining? Is there a way we can get past all of this and have some unity, some togetherness, some happiness, some love, some joy, some peace out here in these streets, man? I'm hoping that we can find it. It's something I want to share with y'all real quick. Something I want to look at real fast with y'all. Let me get this a little bootleg, but let me get this together for y'all so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Y'all stay tuned while I get this together, man. I know it look crazy right now. We seen something similar happen in the news. Have things really changed? This is an isolated incident. I mean, it's been happening a lot, but y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. I don't want to make this a hate thing. I want to make this a love thing. Let's talk about unity in the comment section. Let's talk about love, embracing each other in the comment section. So much love for y'all and for all you beautiful ladies out there.
Risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk my life to give you documentations, girl. I risk